The Russian Federation abstained during the voting of the draft resolution submitted by Bahrain. We did this because it's extremely unbalanced and does not meet the purpose of maintaining international peace and security. Let me state from the outset, we do understand and regret the situation in which Middle Eastern countries find themselves in today. More than that, Russia thinks it's unacceptable to strike the territory and in particular the civilian infrastructure of the Arab states in the Persian Gulf. The leadership of my country and personally President Putin from the very first days joined with the efforts to de-escalate, to stop the bloodshed in Iran and around it. But talking about attacks against countries in the region in isolation from the root causes of the current escalation, specifically the aggression by the United States and Israel against the Islamic Republic of Iran, is impossible and it is unfair. To our deep regret, the resolution that just passed is expressed exactly in this kind of biased and one-sided tone. It muddles up the cause and effect. And if someone who is not well versed in international affairs reads this, then this person will be left with the impression that Tehran, on its own volition and out of malice, conducted an unprovoked attack on Arab states. The attacks against the territory of Iran itself, not to mention those who are behind them and carrying them out, are not only not condemned in the document, they're just simply left out. And the Security Council has just signed off to that. Nor is it being mentioned the fact that the authorities in Tehran underscored repeatedly that their retaliation are not against the country specifically, but the American military facilities and infrastructure on their territory, and are legitimate targets within Iran's right to self-defense under Article 51 of the Charter. We must also point out that Washington, through their aggressive action, essentially just exposed the Gulf states. The Americans ignored their repeated requests not to use the territory of the Arab states to conduct military operations against Iran. According to the information from open sources, the United States actively are using for the purposes the areas of the permanent deployment of their armed forces, first and foremost in the Persian Gulf monarchies. And this is being done not for defensive or intelligence gathering purposes, but for offensive purposes. The official site of the American CENTCOM on the 28th of February already, with a reference to its head, Brett Cooper, it was stated that high-precision weaponry against Iran was launched not just from sea and air, but also from land. It is clear that this could only mean the territory of those states which are neighboring Iran. It is not a secret for anyone that the American base in Bahrain is the headquarters and the nerve center of the Fifth Fleet of the United States, which is the main strike force against Iran. The U.S. Air Force Base Prince Sultan in Saudi Arabia is the main maintenance point for U.S. Air Force. A major Air Force base, El Udeid in Qatar, could be used not just as a major element of the global air defense and NATO global system air defense, but also to deploy the attack fighters, bombers, and refueling planes, and also so as to suppress air defense and for target acquisition. For these purposes, and also to collect intelligence information, the Al Dhafra base in UAE is very suitable. An important role in carrying out the military operation against Iran is being played by the American bases in Kuwait, Jordan, and Iraq. All of this is being mentioned by Iran in justifying their strikes against American military facilities in Arab countries. The absolute imperative need to protect civilians and infrastructure under the conditions of the current conflict in this resolution is also presented in a very one-sided way. Strikes against civilians and civilian infrastructure are not acceptable under any circumstances in any country, not in Iran, not in Bahrain, not in Jordan, not in Qatar, not in Kuwait, not in Oman, not in Saudi Arabia, not in the United Arab Emirates, not in Israel. But the GCC draft could lead one to conclude that no one hit the peaceful citizens of Iran. It's as though the horrible strike against the girls' school in Menab did not happen. The result of that was almost 200 children killed. There was no cynical murder of the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, as though there had been no strikes against a peaceful nuclear and oil infrastructure which could lead to catastrophic consequences, not just economic ones, and for the citizens, not just Iran and neighboring countries, but also for states beyond the Middle East. The sponsors of the draft just suggested that we close our eyes to this unlawful action and unprovoked aggression against Iran by United States and Israel. Since the very beginning, working on the text, the Russian Federation, together with our Chinese colleagues, have consistently been conveying these concerns to Arab states. We've voiced them in the course of informal consultations, and we also provided the co-sponsors and all other members of the Council our written comments and suggestions. Specifically, we propose the following. First of all, that we call upon all the parties to the current conflict to stop the strike. Second, that we condemn the strikes not only against the countries of the Gulf, but also against the territory of Iran. And we express regret having to do with the attacks against civilian facilities, which resulted in the death of civilians and the supreme leader of Iran, and express solidarity with the people of Iran in this difficult time. Third, demand that all states reject provocations or any action that could lead to further escalation. Additionally, we spoke in favor of confirming the need to settle any disputes using peaceful means, and a balanced statement pointing to the fact that the right to self-defense under the Charter is something that the Arab states and also Iran have. At the same time, despite the principled position of my country, in particular the categorical condemnation of the aggression by the United States and Israel, we try to make sure that our language was as restrained as possible without naming the initiators of the current crisis, without calling them by name. When we were working on this document, we were guided by just one consideration: objectivity. But the authors of the draft resolution simply ignored the position of Russia and China. We are most disappointed by the fact that there was a rejection to include into the text the appeal to the political and diplomatic settlement of the conflict. This was done without any explanations provided, as though we were just saying in a vacuum. We think that such an approach to working on the outcomes of the Security Council is not constructive, it's irresponsible, and it is unfitting for the responsible members of the Council. Mr. President, passing such a resolution cannot lead us to peace in the region of Middle East. It will worsen the differences between the key players in the region. And we are worried that the GCC countries, as they try to condemn Iran, could end up crossing out all of the recent accomplishments in trying to restore good faith relations with Tehran and push away for many years a prospect of creating a common security space for the entire region. Furthermore, the positive decision of the Council on this document we just had could be interpreted by bad faith actors, and first and foremost by those who started this war, as a blessing to continue aggression actions against Iran. And we appeal to all UN members to understand this.